in this gospel reading, Jesus is transfigured in Matthew chapter 17. And Jesus reveals his glory. He is transfigured. His glory is revealed. Now, this kind of a glory that he has is not something that he all of a sudden got right then and there. It's like he didn't have it beforehand, and now all of a sudden he's transfigured. Something happens to Jesus. Nothing really happens to Jesus. His glory is just revealed. The glory that he had from the beginning. The glory he had from the beginning, because in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was made flesh. That Word is Jesus Christ. And he reveals his glory to us, to give us hope and consolation, to know that that is the glory that we will receive. What is his glory by nature, we inherit because we have become children of God. We too are sons of God. And so the glory that Jesus has, we inherit by virtue of our baptism. By virtue of our baptism. And so the grace that we are to receive will be awesome. We think about how great things are, the gifts that we have been given in this life and all this other stuff. You know, like sports players that are famous and fame and all these things pale in comparison to the glory that we will receive from God. What eye has not seen, ear has not heard, nor has it so much as dawned on man what God has destined for us. And so we rejoice. We get to rejoice in that great grace and that blessing that we get to be with God for all eternity. The one who is love, the one who is the Almighty One, can give us everything that is by nature his, would give to us. And so when we read in this Old Testament, the book of Genesis, chapter 12, it says here, all the communities of the earth shall find blessing in you. The whole world will find blessing in you. That is what God has destined us for. That is the glory, the fruit of the glory that we receive. But it begs the question, do other people find blessings in us? Are we a source of grace for other souls? Because that is exactly our purpose in our life. That is why God created us, so that we can be imbued in his mercy and bring his mercy and his grace to others. And so are we being a blessing? Are we being a source of grace for others? How do we do that? How does that come about? Are we even aspired to be a blessing to the other people and for others? Knowing that when we try to be that blessing, we look at our Lord Jesus. Even Jesus says, do not tell the vision to anyone until the Son of Man has been raised from the dead. What? Dead? What are you talking about? Suffering. Suffering. And so that's why Paul, in his second letter to Timothy, chapter 1, says, Beloved, bear your share of hardship for the gospel with the strength that comes from God. Bear your share of hardship. So to carry the cross that we are all destined to carry, but to know that the glory that we have is worth striving for. It's not an easy thing. But it ends in the resurrection, as Jesus referred to in being raised from the dead. We all have our crosses to carry. We all have our crosses to carry. But there is an end, the glory in which Jesus Christ wishes to give us and to give our neighbor, to be that source of grace for others. When we look at Jesus Christ crucified, we know the hardship he endured, but that Jesus Christ crucified won for us the grace and the transfiguration of our souls, so that we could be a light to others, that others may know of God's mercy and His love, they may experience His grace before them. And in the end, not only do we get to heaven, but we get to lead others to the glory of heaven, where they get to rest in our Lord, where they get to rejoice in His arms and know truly His mercy, and to be saved for all eternity in His arms. And to know that we are all called to be a blessing to all nations, to all people, and to be that blessing, and to know that we ourselves could change a soul. To know that through our actions and the way we live, to be a blessing and a means of grace for others, that other souls, through our actions, may get to heaven too. That they too may rejoice in our destiny as well. That they may glory in the glory of Jesus Christ, that Jesus revealed in this transfiguration, that we are all meant to partake of. We are all called to be a blessing, and to know that we don't just change a soul here on earth. We don't just change the world. When I worked construction, I worked on a lot of really nice homes. We worked on a house that was right next door to Michael Jordan. We did $1 million homes. We did a lot of homes back in the 80s that were, at that time, worth at least $250,000, $300,000 on average. Very nice homes. I used to like to drive by the homes and see, look what I did. Isn't that great? That was like my mark that I left in society by the work that I did. And somebody was living there. Somebody had a home there. And in a certain way, it was my way of being able to change the world. But you see, God didn't mean us to just change the world. Some physical things around us. How many houses around in our own neighborhoods are getting bulldozed down? So you change the world. Build houses, do things nice. That's not what you're called to. You're called to something greater. Yeah, we can change the world. But God calls you, in a certain sense, to change eternity. Think of it this way. One soul goes to heaven because of your actions, because of your faith in Jesus Christ, even in your hard times. One soul goes to heaven who would not like otherwise have been there because of you. That doesn't just change the world. Now that person enters heaven. You just changed heaven. Because one soul was able to rejoice in the glory that was destined for them. You revealed the glory to them by the glory given to you. And so the gifts that you have been given does not stay with you. It manifests itself in other souls, and it changes eternity. It changes the songs of heaven because one more saint is there in the chorus of angels, with the chorus of angels. Isn't that awesome? How you can change eternity. You can make a difference that doesn't just last 100 years at the most, but you can change souls and have a great chorus of saints greeting you when it comes to your life's end of your life's journey. And then you get to see your true glory, the glory that Jesus has revealed to you in this transfiguration. Make your changes. Make your mark on this world. But more importantly, change eternity.